Oh, good afternoon. Wow, we were on live and I didn't even realize that I was muted. So welcome to Trail Talk. I'm so glad you could join us this afternoon. We are coming to you live from the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center here in Duncan, Oklahoma. And we have two fellas from the, I'm going to make sure I get all the words. This is a really long name for this association. The World Senior Professional Bull Riders Association. And this is Gary Johns and Carrie Muir. And they are, did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. They're, I guess, president and vice
Yes, ma'am.
president of the
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
association. So we kind of got the big dogs here, y'all. They sent the big guys.
Nobody else wanted the job.
Nobody, that's the way it goes. Y'all probably got elected those positions at a meeting you weren't attending.
Almost.
Almost, yeah. Anyway, they are here to talk about an event that will be happening here in Duncan at the Stevens County Fairgrounds next weekend. It starts a week from today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thursday, 17th, 18th, and 19th, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So before we talk about the actual event, tell us a little bit. Well, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Gary, tell us, where you're from. Are you a bull rider? I mean, how did you get involved with all
Right.
of this?
I'm from Weatherford, Texas, and I actually had ridden until I was around in my 30s and quit. And found out about the association actually from Carrie about 4 years or so ago. At that time, I was 54. And I just liked it. I liked the whole deal when I went to one of their events, and that's what got me back started. And I rode for about 3 years. Haven't ridden since I was here in 2020, so I haven't ridden in a couple of years, but stay very involved with the association. And then that's kind of my story as far as
So what was it about the event that you liked so much that you wanted to get back out there and ride and be a part of it?
it's a good question, but because
I'm not sure.
I thought I would never be on another bull after I quit the first time, but I don't know, the camaraderie, the guys being around it and meeting the guys and I don't think that ever leaves you. Once you start riding bulls, if you've done it any length of time, I don't care how old you are, I think it never leaves, you never get it out of your system. And even though I thought I was done in my 30s, I watched it, I just thought, man, I just kind of got that itch again. And once I did it, and actually I got banged up pretty good. My first bull back, I got banged up pretty good, but I couldn't wait to get on again. So it was just one of those things. I don't think you're ever not a bull rider. You just quit entering.
I see. It's like you're like being a Marine. You're always a Marine. You're always a bull rider. So I'm going to chase this just a little bit, Carrie, before we get to you. You've been off the bull for like 20 years.
So man, it was about 15 or 16 years that I had been off. And we've got guys that have been off. We've got guys that have come started back riding with us close to 60 and over 60 that haven't been on in 20 to 30 years.
What does it take to get yourself physically able? Because I know it's a sport. And I've always thought that a gym that I've gone to here in town, there was a young man that I would see doing these workouts. And I thought, what is he? And I asked him and he was working out for it because he's a bull rider. So did you have to do some things to help yourself be able to physically get back on the bull? And
I should have. Yes. I should have. I spent about, after being off for 16, 17 years, I spent about 2 weeks getting ready and realized that I should have taken a little more time to get prepared.
Right.
It takes a lot. There's some guys that don't have to do anything. They can sit around the house and do whatever they want, and they can come in here and they can just ride like they've been riding their whole lives. And for some of it, it takes a little bit more work than that.
I know,
Especially at this age.
you said 7 seconds while ago. So the seniors ride 7 seconds
Yes.
as opposed to 8.
Yes, ma'am.
And that 1 second makes
a difference.
It can make a
difference. It sure can.
It tells you how hard this is, y'all. 1 second makes a difference. So you still have to have some kind of stamina though, right? Or not? Is it like a sprint?
Well, you feel like it for 7 seconds, and you can ride through anything, no matter what kind of shape.
You can do anything for 7
You know that
seconds.
you can.
Yeah.
Getting away afterwards, that's a different story.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
It obviously helps to be in good shape, you know, to eat right, to be fit, that helps a lot. It
Yeah.
makes a big difference, you know, when you ride bulls to be in shape for sure.
Probably more to get up and get away and
A lot
to be able to take the impact of your throne. Also probably those core muscles help you ride better.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Core's a huge deal.
Yeah,
And a lot of us have some problems, that senior associate have some problems with core.
right. That's taking offense on that. All right, so Carrie, tell us about your experience with how you
Well,
became involved.
I actually started back. I've been rodeoing since I was 13 years old. And I finally quit in 2012. I was steer wrestling. In my experience, I weighed 262 pounds when I quit steer wrestling. And what little I had up here went to here pretty fast. So I actually lost about 60 pounds. I had met a guy and he had a jacket from the WSPBR when I met him. And my first thought is, if he can do it, I can do it. And so I lost 60 pounds and came back, and I just happened to call him right then, and we got back together. We steer wrestled together some, and so you know we when we came into this in 2018, I started planning on it in 2017, and we got back to this, and we've said many times, you know, we never thought. We were just hoping that we'd get a couple of bulls covered and maybe make it to the finals once. And but this is a group of guys. We have a chaplain that travels with us. The families go. You know, some of the younger guys still have kids that are riding with us, and it is the most incredible association that I've ever been involved with. As far as camaraderie. You just want to hang out. I mean, I can't find a terminal end to this.
Everybody's very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, that sounds like a kind of the dream.
It
You
is.
know, especially for after your kids are grown, to be able to just go and do travel and do some fun things like that.
A lot of our guys, and I think it covers probably about half of them, you know, they rodeoed in high school. There were a few that have never rodeoed before until they were in the senior deal, but most of them rodeoed somewhere, you know, in their youth, and they got married, jobs, careers, college. It all goes away, and then they came back. You know, I had rodeoed for a long time, but I changed events when I got on my first bull again in 18. It had been 32 years since I got on a bull.
Wow.
But it took one to have me hooked again.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So do you guys, do you practice bull riding? Is that something you
Some guys
practice?
do. Some guys, we've got some guys that get on a lot of bulls every week, practice bulls. We have an open association that's actually open for everybody. Those guys will also be with us at the finals. Along with WSPBR, we have the open association riding with us, which is any age. We have them from 12 years old all the way up to our senior riders.
Okay.
But then we've got some of us guys, getting on practice bulls can beat you up. And it's,
Yeah.
there's other ways to train, you know, there's drop barrels, there's bucking machines, there's other ways to practice without having to get on livestock. That's the best way, is to get on more bulls when you're riding.
Right.
But at a certain age, you get to a certain point that kind of keeps, your body can only take so much.
Yeah.
So you have to find different ways to be ready and to prepare, other than just going out. And when we were in our teens and our 20s, you know, we could get on 10 bulls a week and thought nothing of it. And as you get, you know, Carrie's in late 50s, I'm in late 50s at this point, and going to get on 10 bulls a week doesn't work out very good for you. So
Right.
you have to figure out other ways to be prepared.
Yeah.
Well, some guys do. We've got some guys that ride a lot.
We had 39 events this year, plus 3 at the finals. So our guys are getting on a good number of bulls
That's-
considered.
Yeah.
We have guys in both. We have them in the WS, and we also have them in the open. So some of our guys will get on 2 bulls a night. And they're riding in both associations, so it's a lot.
That is a lot. So do you typically ride, like, will you guys ride 3 times
Yes.
each?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Are you still riding?
No, I haven't ridden since 2020.
Okay, all right, but as
I am
the
still-
competitors will ride, if
Yeah.
they're just in the one class, they'll ride
Every night.
every night.
Mhm.
3 times.
And some guys will be six, some guys are in both. So they'll actually get on six
Six
bulls
bulls over the weekend.
this weekend, yes,
Yeah.
or next weekend, yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
Wow. Now, you mentioned there were women
Mhm.
who ride. Do they compete against the men?
No, ma'am.
Well, yeah, we have some women that do compete with us, and actually, we had our first female world champion last year. She took what age group is she?
I don't remember.
35 to 47.
Still probably appreciate it. 35 to 47 is not age.
No, 35, I'm sorry. She took one of our younger age
We have
groups.
4 age groups.
Yes.
Oh,
We have 4 age groups.
Uh-huh.
35 to 40, 41 to 46,
Yeah.
47 to 54, and 55 and older.
Okay,
And we'll put her in the 35 to 40 because she'll make her happier. if we have that.
yeah.
But she was.
Nobody's giving away anyone's age around
She
here.
rides every week with the men, every week, but we have the world's professional, women's professional bull riders coming in this week, Thursday and Friday night. And those girls have their own association and they'll just be just against each other. But we
Okay.
do have our one, female rider, lady rider, that'll be with us every night.
And you're saying she
Yeah.
won?
Mhm.
She won the world championship last year,
Championship.
and she's about a 7 or 8 time women's world champion.
Oh,
And
my goodness, wow.
she's a hand.
So do the women ride 7 seconds? also?
Yeah.
No, I think,
Oh.
I think they ride for 8.
They ride for 8 in theirs.
In theirs.
And ours is 7.
Right.
The seniors, which
Yes.
is considered 35 and up.
Yes, right.
But you do have different age divisions
Yes, ma'am.
for different age divisions in that. That makes it a little more fair. I mean, a 55-year-old and a 55-year-old, yeah, that's pretty
4
wide.
or 5 guys that are over 60.
Yeah,
All the way up to 67 was our oldest.
yeah.
So, yeah, obviously, we can't put those all together.
A couple of years ago, my husband and I were running in a 5K and we went to look at the results and the age group was 55 to 120. I said, wow,
That would be a.
that's a pretty big age
That's a
range.
big-
We got any 100-year-olds we're competing against.
Right.
but
Our actual, I think our largest age group is our 55 and older.
Is that right?
Sure is.
Wow.
And
Yep.
it's very big. You'll see a lot of those guys represented at the finals this year.
Wow, well, that is so impressive. So I had one other thought. You mentioned like working out on
Bucket barrel.
right, those kinds of apparatuses. Where do you find those? I mean, that seems like especially one of those automated bull things that,
There's a few of those around, but we have, like myself, I've got just it's literally a barrel put on, what do you call them?
Skids.
Yeah, whatever, just.
rock.
Myself, so they can help you do it. Then there's half mechanical, that are just a drop barrel, that just goes up and down, but it is automated. But, and some guys also riding horses, some guys ride horses that keeps them legs stretched out, keeps them straight, their balance and all that, you can work on that. But, those are some good ways to do it if you can't go get on.
I was just
Bulls.
thinking, I mean, there are, like I mentioned earlier, there are gyms and everything, but to have access to some of these things seems like it would be a big investment. And, to be able to share these things, like, are you from Weatherford, Texas also?
No, I'm from White Rock, Texas,
Okay, don't know.
just south of Bonham,
Okay,
Sherman Dennis.
okay, all right. So, yeah, I don't know, it just seems like,
There's a lot of it there.
kind of an investment
Yes,
of
ma'am.
sorts, but I guess probably rodeo folks just, they know who everyone is and share things
do.
like other groups.
Yeah, that's right. Some of our riders, we've got a couple of stock contractors that have practiced bull ridings during the week. At least, three of our stock
Yeah.
contractors, all of them have a place where you can actually go get on practice bulls. But also, even at the practice pits, some have the drop barrels and the bucket barrels and stuff, where you can do that too,
Yeah.
if you don't want to get on a live bull. So, yeah, and everybody, it's like I said, it's a lot of camaraderie there, and everybody tries to help each other. So there's places you can go. You don't have to have your own.
Yeah,
There's usually somebody somewhere you can go to share that particular thing to help get ready.
yeah.
There's actually several of the guys that we rodeo with, myself included. There in my hometown, we have a buck out at one of the cowboy churches,
Mhm.
and every week, we have about 50 riders there, and we furnish half the equipment for those kids to get on, mostly kids, but I've had several guys come get their start for us out there, come back
Right,
and we'll put them on, we start out with the little jump kickers and then move them up and see how far they can go. And that's
Yeah.
with the kids and all. We've got like 12 girls now, that are coming
Really?
every week.
wow. So do you, I watch bull riding on TV and I see a lot of safety equipment
Oh, yeah.
that the riders, helmets and like a
Yes,
vest and things. Do you guys wear those?
that's mandatory. Actually, you're required to wear a vest.
Okay, okay.
That's mandatory. You don't have to wear a helmet, but a lot of our guys do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to do it because there's a lot of guys, get kicked on, stepped on. It's a good thing to have. A helmet's a good thing to have. Some guys don't like riding. I didn't like riding in them. I did my last year I rode, didn't really like it, but it's probably saved me a few times.
Right.
So, but
Right.
that's really, other than that, that's the only, the vest is the only thing they're required to wear.
Mm-hmm. And what is the vest made, that it's a protective thing?
It's leather covered or nylon covered ballistic padding.
Okay,
The first ones came about right after Lane Frost
right.
was killed at Cheyenne.
Mhm.
And they started looking at them. And they basically started with the technology that the horse racing industry has had for years. And kind of worked up from there
Mhm.
to something that was obviously jockey doesn't have to make nearly the moves that a bull rider has to make
Right.
to stay on his mount. So they changed the shape but it's still that same material.
To protect the vital organs,
Yes,
I'm
It
guessing
does.
from.
It does. If you get kicked or a bull hits you with a horn or something like that's gonna protect you. Even wearing that vest, you hit like you land flat on the ground and a 1,500-pound bull stomps in the middle of your chest,
Yeah,
it's gonna do some serious damage.
right.
But for the times when you're just kind of take that grazing kick or a horn or something like that,
Which are
it'll save
probably,
you.
it's probably the majority
The
of
majority.
the hits or
Yeah.
bumps or whatever, or that it comes from
That's right.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I appreciate safety gear. I know
So do I.
those things, well, and it's always evolving. Technology is always, improving things like that. But I mean, we just see the benefit of safety gear.
It can make your career a little longer for sure.
Yeah, and make it more fun.
Our guys have to get up and go to work on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Most of them. And, they may have gotten past raising the kids, but they've still got to pay for the grandkids and some of
They
them
have mortgages
still the
and car
kids.
payments this
Yeah.
Insurance.
Insurance.
Yeah, so I actually work for an orthopedic surgeon and so we get to see a lot of the guys
Oh,
on Monday.
I bet you do, yeah. Well, that's very fun. So, like, how many members are in your association roughly?
We've probably close to under 70, 80 members, maybe something like
We
that.
have 88 paid riders this year and then plus our support staff. Our families are almost members, they just don't have to pay, but
Right,
our secretary, our stock contractors and all that, I mean, on average, every week we see about 60 to 70 people at the event, just in our senior group.
Mhm.
And then the kids that are, let's say kids are 35 and
right,
younger.
yeah,
We have probably 125 people travel with us almost every weekend.
Wow.
At the finals itself, the WSPBR will have 40. Actually, guys will actually ride. We had more people qualify than that, but we had a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys that have injured will be, a lot will be there, but they're injured out, they can't get on, but we'll actually have 40 bull riders from the WS. And then 20 out of the Open Association, along with the girls. So
Right.
we usually always, every year, just about is somewhere between 45 and 55 or close to 60 people that qualify for the finals. But we always end up with a handful of guys that are injured that can't compete.
So do people pull themselves out, or is there a physical thing that they have to like pass or something?
you're on your own. I mean, if you want to pull out, you can. A lot of our guys ride hurt week after week. We have a lot of guys that are beat up all year and just keep on coming.
Mm,
There's no protocol in the PBR. They have a concussion protocol. We really don't. Man, you'd be surprised. We have a lot of beat up guys that just come week after week.
Well, after a certain age, it takes so long to heal
Mm.
sometimes. I mean, for real, you
Mm.
know, if you even just spraining something or pulling something, it can take a while to heal. And so then you miss out on a lot, I'm guessing. Is it a 12-month?
We start in
Okay.
January, is our first month, our finals is always in November.
Okay.
So December is always an off month.
Uh-huh.
And really at the beginning of the year, January, February, we just usually have a few at the very beginning of the year. And then as spring comes on, then we start filling in a lot of the weekends after that.
Right.
We tried to, I think this July, we had one event in a really hot part of the year. We tried to not have a lot because it's just so hot for the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it stays that way. It stayed that way all the way through September this year. We had a lot of bull rides, just crazy hot. But, spring all the way through November is really busy.
Mhm.
But our first event's in January.
And you mentioned you have a chaplain. Is there, do you have, like medical personnel who travel with you, or do you have
It's a
any
big
kind
sales
of,
myself.
you?
Sometimes it is just him.
We have a couple of guys that are paramedics,
Okay.
or have been paramedics, a
Mhm.
couple of guys that have some army training and I think I'm the only one that's working in the medical field right now, at least of the riders.
Mhm.
But I mean, all we do is, tape up the kinks, put fingers back in place
Right,
and shoulders
yeah.
back in
Are
place.
you required to have like an emergency
Some-
vehicle,
some-
it depends on the venue?
We usually have some medical personnel at most of the events. We have some medical personnel there, but it's usually somebody local.
Yeah,
Nobody travels with us.
Okay.
We just try to make sure everywhere we go, we just try to make sure we've got somebody there.
I wondered if some venues might require it.
Some do.
Yeah.
Yes, do.
Yeah.
They sure do.
Okay. That seems right. So when you pay dues, I
Yes.
guess, and then those dues are, that's pays for the people who do all the organizing. Does it pay a salary? You have like people who are employed or?
We actually have one paid employee,
Uh-huh.
and that's our secretary. Kathy, she takes care of us, does all our office work and she has been to every event.
Wow.
She might dispute the paid salary deal though.
Yeah.
It's really not a salary. She makes a little something off every event, but I
Yeah.
can assure you.
It's not nearly what she deserves.
Yeah, if we had to have a salary for somebody who did everything she did,
Uh-huh.
we'd have to write a big check every month.
So you have to, yeah, I bet you probably can't put a dollar figure
No.
on that. Do you have to pay entry fees for every event?
You have to pay your membership dues at the beginning of every year,
Uh-huh.
and then every event you pay an entry fee. And then the finals entry fee is a separate fee. If you qualify the finals, you do have to pay an entry fee to enter the finals.
So you have to be a member of the association to compete
Yes.
at your event.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that would be the benefit of joining the association.
Right.
Okay,
You can ride on a permit. A guy can come in if he doesn't want to pay his membership, right? That way he can buy what we call a permit. He can ride on 2 events on a permit. But after that second event, if he wants to continue to ride, he's got to buy his membership.
well, I mean, that's a fair way to give someone a taste of it, who maybe they're just not sure or whatever.
We've had a lot of guys, come in and they just want to try it one more time. They did it at some point and
Yeah,
they just want to do it again.
yeah.
Which is what I thought I was gonna do in 18. I thought I just wanted to go get on one more bull and then. it turned
2
into-
years later,
2 or 3 years later.
His wife loves me.
Mhm.
I bet.
Right.
That's great. So, what kind of prizes are available? Is there a prize at every event?
Well, money,
Or
you're riding for money
a
every
purse?
weekend. Yes, ma'am, we ride for a purse every weekend. There's added money and plus part of your entry fee goes into the pot that gets paid out. A lot of them will have buckles, not all of them, but a lot will have buckles. We have one promoter called Shoe 2 Productions that has a buckle series. He has about several events during the year. And he has a series, he keeps points of the guys that enter his events. At the end of that series, that guy gets a high point buckle. He also gives a motorcycle they have a drawing for a motorcycle. We have one event down in Columbus, Texas, where the average winner gets a rifle. So there's different things during you're always gonna ride for the money, but there's different things throughout the year that are awarded to guys at different events.
And like how many places pay out?
Usually 5 every weekend or
About
5.
five.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Wow, and so if you're going to be at this is the finals.
Yes.
So what are the prizes at the finals?
It's the same, it's money, we're right for money,
Okay.
added money,
Uh-huh.
but here you have an average purse, like if you're the high point, rider over the 3 days, that's a separate purse. We have a bounty bull, we have 3 bounty bulls, if you draw the bounty bull, that's a $500 purse. Obviously, there's buckles, if you're the world champion, the reserve, there's buckles all
Okay,
in
yeah.
the qualifiers. So that's,
Okay, so if the high point is a separate award, how do you determine who the champion is?
well, it goes by points, every age group goes by points. So
Okay, oh, like you might have the highest, Point in the senior.
over the course of the entire year,
But not-
start to finish.
oh, from, okay.
Yes,
the whole-
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right,
We do have an overall, if of every age group, you throw every age group together, whoever accumulated the most points over the entire course of the year, will win a saddle.
oh, nice,
Yeah,
So.
very
Real
nice.
nice.
mhm.
wow. And all these things are these out for folks to see? Like
I will be or
For
not.
the, oh, okay,
Yeah, I haven't heard.
I haven't, I don't know, for that. I mean, it'll be there eventually, but yes, I'm not sure if it'll be there for everybody.
right,
Most of our, like the buckles, things like that, we keep locked up somewhere till the last day on Sunday, we have an awards banquet for our
Oh,
guys. just a
okay.
private Awards banquet for our guys and their families,
uh-huh.
and so everything's kind of kept under lock and key till then, so we don't have to worry about anything happening to them.
And this is an annual event?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
How many times have you had it here in Duncan?
It's just our second,
Okay,
yes,
all
ma'am,
right, was it last year?
2020.
Oh, in 2020?
Yeah.
And then you had it somewhere else last year?
Shawnee, Oklahoma last year, and then we came back here this year, and I hope we stay here for a few years. 2020 was a little rough because of COVID.
Uh-huh.
This year was much better. We had a lot more people get on board with us as far as sponsors. And
Met y'all.
this.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all been a big help. One of the TV stations, one of the other news stations in Marlow.
Marlo.
So it's been much better this year, and I think next year will be even better. I think we stay here again next year. I just think it'll get bigger and better.
Right, well, I mean, you kind of just have to get it on the
Yeah.
calendar and then you keep coming and folks get it on their calendars. and-
It's coming up, the WSPBR will be in town.
Right,
Yes, ma'am. That's
right. It's almost really, you guys might be lucky if you got a weekend. Our fairground stays pretty booked up.
We call Matt, that's another thing, the people in Duncan, I mean, from y'all, there's no, the Western stores, the arena help, the ladies in the office. Man, the people are awesome. They just bend over backwards to help us. I mean, this is an awesome place to have a bull ride because
Good.
everybody is so helpful.
Yeah,
That's a
we like
big
to
deal.
hear that.
Big deal.
Good job, Duncan.
That's right.
Well done.
We appreciate
Steve was
you.
Yeah,
listening, I
appreciate
think.
Duncan very much.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
We are going to, really have a good finals this year. We've just had so much support from the whole area, not just Duncan, but the whole surrounding counties. So really have welcomed us and helped us every step of the way. I can't say enough about the Chisholm Trail Heritage Museum.
Right.
They have really
There you
supported
go.
us.
These guys, we like them.
This is the time of year that these guys and their families have been beating the roads all year long through injuries, through bad weather, things like that. So this is where everybody gets to come together, relax, enjoy what they work for all year long,
Right.
and have a good time and reap the rewards of what they've worked for all year.
Yeah.
This is a great time of year.
Relax except for 7 seconds
Yeah.
at night.
With 39 events, Cowboys don't get to go on vacation much, so.
I thought that is out of 11 months, 39 events, that is almost every weekend.
We have a few that are, 2 a weekend, but yeah, it really was.
Some of our events are 2 days, Saturday and Sunday are 2-day deals, but it's still, it's a lot. It
Yeah.
sure is. It's a lot.
That's quite a commitment. But I mean, if you're doing what you love, it's not a burden at all,
We get to go, we get to go see our extended family every weekend pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's a great
Yeah,
thing.
we see each other more, not just Carrie and I, but just the bull riders in general, their families. I see them more than I see my own family,
Mm-hmm,
because we spend most weekends together.
right.
And afterwards, going out to eat and just traveling and things like that, so, yeah.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, after the finals is over, my wife asked me last year, I told her 2 weeks after finals, over, we're getting together, going to a concert over in Fort Worth, and she said, "Well, who?" And I said, "Hey, the guys," and she goes, "Y'all see each other enough?" No,
No,
no kidding.
Yeah.
So,
that's great. What a great testimony to just being able to enjoy a common, sport and build friendships, and the kind of friendships that you miss each other when you're not together.
That's right. Which brought, I've got, we've, of course, Carrie and I already knew each other, but we had not been around each other in several years before this started, but, the wives have developed relationships with other wives that will hopefully just continue on forever,
Mhm.
even when we're not Borat anymore. We're still gonna
Right.
have people that have, developed those friendships that are gonna last, and you're gonna do things together,
Mhm.
even when this is all over. And that would have never happened had it not been for the WSPBR.
Right, right. So do you guys have riders from all across the US?
Yeah.
I'm interested, like, how many different states?
Iowa, Wyoming, New Mexico,
Lots of Oklahoma.
lots of Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri. I think that's about it.
Uh-huh,
And some of them move throughout the year, so I don't keep up entirely, but,
right.
yeah, we have a guy that drives from Iowa every weekend.
So are most of the events down this way?
Mostly Texas and Oklahoma. Now, in the years past, there's been other places. Again, when COVID hit, that kind of, that kind of narrowed our field down of places we could go. And
Right,
so for the most part, right now, it's Texas and Oklahoma, but, an event could be put on anywhere. That can happen, but, for the most part, it's Texas and Oklahoma.
mhm, yeah,
We've had them in New Mexico, Kansas, Arkansas, West Virginia,
Missouri used to be a fine.
Missouri. Yeah, so we've had them all over. It was just like everybody else having to kind of build back up after COVID.
Right.
The South stayed open to us. We never missed an event during COVID, even in 2020. But when we got down to the finals, it was limited. There were limited places we could go because so many of the big nice arenas are municipal owned, and municipalities had them shut down. Duncan welcomed us.
right, right. So let's talk about the event a minute, because I want to make sure. So you're gonna have there's a senior class that's competing, there's an open class, which can be any age.
Our youngest, I'm pretty sure our youngest is 12. And I'm not sure who our oldest in the open is, but probably in his 50s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, matter of fact, late 50s. We have, I think our oldest guy may be 57 or 8 in the open division. That's a broad range, but that's open to anybody.
They don't have to be a member of any
They have
association.
to be a member of the open association, yes.
Oh, okay, so there is an
Yes,
open
ma'am.
association.
Yes, ma'am.
So, is it broken down by age division like the
That's all,
seniors are?
opens are all together. It's all one big group.
So that 12-year-olds.
Olds right along that 50-something-year-old guy
Uh-huh.
and everything in between.
Okay, and so there'll be about 60 riders in those two groups.
Yes, that's right.
And then there are 8 women.
7 or 8.
7 or 8
are
women.
coming,
Okay,
and their own association. That's not counting the one that rides with us every week.
okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, very good. So about 68 riders is what they're planning right now. And like Gary mentioned, let's make sure, unless there's another injury
God willing.
or
God
sickness or
willing.
I mean,
Help you
all
on.
of those kind of things that,
That's right.
you just can't ever predict.
Right.
And so you'll have, the women are only competing Thursday and Friday,
Correct.
okay? And then the other 2 classes will be all 3
All
nights.
3 nights.
And I think you also told me this was before we went live, that some of the guys ride open and senior.
That's right.
And so they'll be riding 2 times
Two
each
times a
night.
night, 6 pools through the course of the weekend. That's right. Yeah.
That seems like
A lot. And as a matter of fact, if I'm remembering, Troy Hall's our oldest open guy, isn't he?
Believe so.
And so he's the oldest one. I think Troy's 57 or somewhere in there. He'd be mad at me if I call him too old. So he rides in the WS, the WSPBR and the open.
So he does.
So
ride
one of the
2
oldest guys gets on 2 bulls every night.
Wow,
Mhm.
wow.
Yeah.
He must love it.
He does.
He
He's a tough guy. He's ex-military
Uh-huh.
and he's one of our tough guys.
Those guys, if you're riding 2 a night, you gotta be kind of fit.
And that's
Right.
also, Carrie might remember better, we actually have different nights. You can tell her.
Oh, yeah, I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about that, yeah.
So,
Let's talk about that.
we are supporting first responders, police, fire, emergency response of any kind on Thursday night. Our guys are gonna be wearing blue for that,
Okay,
just to honor them. I believe the Duncan Police Department is gonna be coming in and doing our honor guard for us. Friday night, we're having, the Red Friday, military support and, bring our soldiers home kind of, support. And, it's, a red color for the bring them home.
Uh-huh.
Then it's any color on Saturday for any color of cancer, which basically means you can wear
Right,
anything you want.
right, yeah.
It's a rainbow out there. There's a lot of those.
Yeah,
And,
different little ribbons for.
yes,
different
and
specific kinds, yeah.
we've done those. As long as I've been in the association, we've always done that. We have Troy Hall and several others are our military guys. And a lot of our guys got out of the military and then wanted to ride again. And they joined us and we honor them a lot. And, you know, of course, at our age, we see a lot of our guys will come down with something, and we've had some cancers run through our association over the course of the last few years. And so we usually honor those. This year, thank God, we had none that I know of. And so it's open to any color. We're taking on all of them.
All right, very good. And so, are the people who come to attend those nights who are either first responders, military, cancer survivors, can they expect a time of recognition or anything else?
It will be announced throughout the night that's what we're supporting. And it varies. Cancer support, we usually don't ask them to stand up or anything.
Uh-huh.
So we don't, bother anybody.
Right.
Military, we absolutely honor them, and first responders, we will.
Uh-huh.
More of a privacy thing for the cancer patients. Don't
Sure.
put it on anybody.
Sure,
But we hope they're there. And we hope they know that we support them.
very nice, very nice. And so there are, the tickets are being sold at the door,
Yes,
okay? And so what's the cost?
$5.
$5, no matter how
No.
old or,
Well, the 10 is.
I'm sorry, 10 and under.
10 and under free.
okay, 10 and under
Yes,
are
ma'am.
free,
Yes, ma'am.
$5
Yeah.
adults.
for adults, 11 and older, which is still,
We want to make it.
that's a
affordable.
really good
That's right.
deal.
We want to, everything is so darn high right now that we wanted to have that where somebody could come out and enjoy it and not have to spend so much money to have a good night.
And it looks like Thursday and Friday, it's gonna start at 7.
Yes.
Saturday, it's going to start at 4.
Five, that's not correct.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was
Is this
correct.
one
That-
correct?
That one is.
Yeah, this
Yes.
one is correct. Okay, this was like before we set our clocks or something, maybe. I don't know.
That's what we'll say.
I'm just
We'll
making
go with
it
that.
up, y'all.
We'll go-
Okay, so 5 o'clock on Saturday. And like about how long, if you're a first timer, how long of an event can you expect if you're gonna go attend?
With it, what does that mean?
Means I'm hoping.
Okay,
Yeah, they're happy.
I would sure like to get through that in 3 hours, 3.5 hours, maybe. It's a long bull riding, but I hope that we can, it's not our first rodeo. We do this every weekend,
No
so.
pun
No
intended.
pun intended, but I hope that we can keep the guys moving and get it run really smooth. And God willing, barring any injuries or anything like that, we'll get through it in 3 to 3.5 hours, but I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Okay, and will there be concessions,
Yes.
things like that?
There is.
Okay, so,
Concession stand, we may have a few vendors set up, with shirts and some things like that.
Okay.
Maybe a few vendors set up for that.
We have an auction.
That's right.
We will
That's
have an auction, so we raise money for our rider relief fund through an auction. It's a lot of donated stuff. I know there's gonna be everything from alcohol to some different deals,
Different items that
items,
people donate for the auction.
spurs and
Is-
other
Is
things.
it like a silent auction?
No,
It'll be a live auction.
It'll be Saturday.
Yeah.
And we'll have some bid takers around there, and it's anybody, the bull riders, the audience, anybody can bid, and we'll have some people, whatever the item is, we'll kind of carry it through the arena, for everybody can see what it is and describe it. And then we'll start the
Do you
bidding.
get a number
No,
or
ma'am.
you just?
No,
Raise your
You're
hand.
just gonna raise your hand? Okay.
And highest bidder gets it.
Okay, very fun. And will that be like during a break time or, okay,
Saturday.
okay,
And I think last year we might have done it halfway through the event. So Saturday night will take a little longer because of that.
okay.
Because
That's what I
of the
was
auction.
wondering.
But that, like he said, that goes to, we have a rider relief fund that helps our injured riders. If somebody gets hurt in an event, needs to go to the hospital, has got to spend the night, got to get a motel room.
Okay,
Or, you know, it's a relief fund we have to help somebody a little bit get along. So that's what that benefits.
very nice. It seems like you guys think of everything. How long has this association been?
This is year 14.
Okay,
So next year we'll have our 15th anniversary, and hopefully we'll be right here for our 15th anniversary.
All
But this is
right.
year 14.
that's a tried and true. You guys know what it takes to have a successful event and how to take care of
Takes a
each
lot of
other.
people. So, of course, me and Carrie are the only ones here today, but I'm telling you, it takes a room full of people to make something go smooth and make it work right.
Mhm.
There's so many unseen people and heard people that in the back pens, people trying to run bulls and loading and unloading our secretary. We have directors in every different area of Texas and Oklahoma. We have area directors, and it takes a lot of people to make an event run smooth and make it run good.
And I mean, as you were saying that, it reminded me, there's a local bull riding event in memory of a young man named Rowdy Swanson. His dad Gerald comes on. They've only had it 2 times. They've had 2 bull ridings here to raise money. Rowdy had been an Oklahoma State University rodeo student bull rider and died at a bull riding event. And so Gerald has been on, and he talked about the people who supply the bulls
Yeah.
for that event. And, you know, he kind of educated me on some of those things because I didn't know that much about it. But so I'm guessing you guys have folks that you use at all of the events, or do you kind of rotate
It's
through?
usually the same people. We have different, stock contractors, the guys that bring bulls. We have 3 or 4 or 5 different one of those guys, but for the most part, it's the same people. Carrie, our secretary, in the trailer, taking entries, taking money, doing the payout,
Uh-huh.
at just about every event through the whole year. So it's usually the same people running them, but the only people we change up sometimes are just the stock contractors, but it's usually the same 3 or 4 guys all year long. To get back about honoring people, I'll tell you, this year, we've got 2 guys that have passed away that were our bull riders, that we're gonna be honoring. There was a boy from Oklahoma, Jesse Smith, that we're gonna honor on Friday night that we lost earlier in the year. And then another one of our past members named Brent Clay that we'll be honoring him one night. So we have 2 guys we are gonna recognize this year at our finals that we lost this year.
Very nice. Is there like a special way that you guys do that? Or? I mean, I'm just
We're-
asking. I don't know if, like, is there a tradition?
We usually turn out a bull without a rider on it, an
Okay.
empty rider. It's rodeo's version of empty saddle, and it's it's the best way for our guys. I think it's that last ride. So
Right.
Okay, well, I know Jesse Smith's family's coming on Friday night for that, and I'm not sure about Brent's yet, but anyway, and we did that last year. We lost, I'm sorry, in 2020, we lost a rider.
yeah,
And we had a stand up there with chaps and a vest,
Mhm.
and we all, as we walked out, we kind of put a hand on on all his stuff there and just recognized him at the last bull ride of the
Right.
year.
And I'm sure that can be an emotional time
Sure,
too.
it is, sure it is.
Yeah. Wow, well, that's just another great part of your organization though, and the family dynamic that you have. When there's a loss for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And that you want to take a moment to honor, and
Sure.
that's commendable also.
Sure. The guys, you know, when I say family, we address each other as brother. I mean, all the riders, and that is probably a truer thing with us than anywhere I've ever been. It's just something really special with our guys. You know, we'll lose a few guys every year that retire and go on, and we gain a few new guys, and it just, you know, but the family just stays intact for the most part. And usually, I don't think we ever lose anybody. They're always, we never cut anybody off.
Right.
They're always available
Right.
to get on the site and follow us and see who's winning and who's not. And you know, I've already heard from a couple of guys that retired a couple of years ago, coming back next year.
Oh, good.
They last a year or two, and then they gotta come back.
They start feeling good again.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you mentioned that, so WSPBR.com
Yes,
is, that's your website, and
Yes.
people can follow the events and the results and all that kind of thing. Okay, we'll put that in the comments. And is this Facebook?
Yes. no,
Or
I meant to make-
that's-
Well,
That's F
well, we have
at WSPB.
we have a Facebook page, but
Is it just,
it's,
the-
it's riders and family, and people can be added on there.
oh, it's a private page?
yes,
Okay,
it's kind of where we do our business, you know, yeah.
all right,
The
so,
website, so you can see it at the beginning of the year. We'll get our schedule, start getting our schedule figured out. You can see where we're gonna be. You can see the standings for different guys, different age groups, how they're doing during the year, results from the previous bull riding. Oh, and then we've got some things. There's a history of the PBR, past world champions. We have 2 or 3 different awards we could give every year for different things. All that's on there for people from the past,
oh, very
past
nice.
officers. So there's quite a bit of
That
information.
sounds
on
like
the
a
website.
great page, yeah, so we've got that in the comments already, so where folks can see that, and hopefully you guys will be able to share this and get the word out, let's
Looking
spread
forward
the
to it.
word, yeah, we want as many folks in attendance as we can get
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love it that you guys are coming to Duncan, and we want you to keep coming back.
We
Absolutely.
thank Duncan and y'all very much. Y'all made this very easy for us.
Good, all right, mission accomplished. Well, I think it's time for us to go, so when we sign off, we always say happy trails together. All right, thanks for watching today, guys, we'll see you next week. Happy
Happy trails.
trails.